All right, we are live on YouTube, and today we're going to be discussing women are wondering why men are pulling out. So stick around and find out exactly what I'm talking about. All of that and much, much more is coming right. Live from Northern California, welcome to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli. And if this is your first time here, and most importantly, you are open, and I emphasize open to suggestions and change, please consider subscribing and then banging that bell. And after you bang that bell, when that pop-up box pops up, make sure you select all notifications, because that way you won't miss a single thing. You will not miss anything when it comes to getting a better grip on your life. And also make sure on your smartphone, your tablet, your iPhone, your Android, or anywhere that you have the YouTube app installed on, you must also make sure that the YouTube app is set to receive those notifications at a device level. You do all of that, and you're great. You're all set to go. You're gravy, like on Thanksgiving Day for Thanksgiving dinner, right? Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Glad to have you all on board here. Before I get to the chat, I want to pay special props again today to my brand new sponsor, the Discover Community Network and the DCN Internet Radio Network. Whatever it is that you're looking to find information on, the Discover Community Network makes it very simple and easy for you and saves you a lot of time. And also finds you the best values with trusted people out there. So check out www.discovercommunitynetwork.com. And then you can even also go to www.dcninternetradio.com. If you go to discovercommunitynetwork.com, you will find links to the rest of the Discover Community Network from that page there. And thank you once again to the Discover Community Network for sponsoring me. I want to make it very clear to everyone that the Discover Community Network and myself are working on a special promo for these shows. So there will be a nice little, maybe 10 to 15 second promo coming soon that will be played during my live streams and pre-recorded videos. So, stick around for that. And I got to tell you, my friend Troy, who is the CEO and founder and owner of the Discover Community Network, doesn't know this, but we're going to talk again tomorrow. And I'm going to try to convince him to actually come onto a live stream with me. You don't have to come on video, Troy. You come audio only. But I definitely do want to interview Troy live on the air here because his community and what he's created is absolutely incredible. And I feel that's the least I can do for his generosity of sponsoring this channel on an ongoing basis. So thank you once again. Appreciate it. Let me check something out here real quick right as we're getting started. All right. Proud Boy, Patriot, Gaming, and more. How'd you find out about this channel? Let us know, man, because I'm not subscribed to you and you're new here. And again, I'm not looking to play any games with any trolls or haters or anything like that. I don't even really want to acknowledge you folks, but let us know who you are. If you're here for the right reasons, enjoy the show, man. Thank you so much for being here. Queen Helen Casey's a patriot as well. I'm a slight left liberal, but I don't judge. I love everyone as long as they're cool with me. So welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here. Let me check out the chat. Actually, first of all, let me make sure that the notification went out. The notification has gone out, and it looks like the stream health is looking good, and we're all set to rock and roll. All right, let's see who's here. Hey, Eli, and everyone says Mutt Nuts World. Welcome to the show, Mutt Nuts World. Mutt Nuts World furthermore says, sorry, I've been MIA, but trying to get everything straight before this hurricane that's coming up the East Coast hits us. We're supposed to get effects of it as soon as tomorrow night. Well, take care of yourself and prepare and be safe. My best to you and your family. Fortunately for me out here in the San Francisco Bay Area, all we have to do is deal with earthquakes every now and then we get a big one typically every 20 to 30 years, which they have created some big damage, like the one in '89 did out here. But we really don't have to deal with hurricanes and tornadoes and flash floods and all that kind of stuff. So we're kind of fortunate. But I understand what you're going through, and my best to you and your family. Please be safe and stay safe. All right, Queen Helen Casey's in the house. Hello, Eli. Smash the like button for Eli. Queen says hello, Mutt. Mutt says hello, Queen. And once again, Proud Boy, Patriot Gaming, and more is in the house. So anyway, all right. So let me get right to this, folks, because I don't think this stream will take too terribly long, probably about an hour or so. I should be able to burn through it rather quickly. The title of today's stream is Guys. Oh, actually, before I get to that, I forgot. I wanted to mention something else. That's very important to me, and I feel is one of the most absolute crucial things that you need to have in life in order to be successful at anything, whether it is, dating, whether it is business, whatever. Building relationships with people is extremely crucial. Getting to know, like, and trust people, to me, is extremely crucial. And let me tell you why, okay? When you've been friends with people for a long time, for example, I've got a friend of mine that, I've been friends with this person for over 8 years. And we have a very, very strong bond. And, we shared many experiences together and done many things together to the point of where we completely trust each other. I've never done him wrong. He's never done me wrong. And, we just have a bond that's indestructible. When you have relationships like that, folks, and you take the time to get to know, like, and trust people, nothing can get in the way of that. No other person or other people or other thing can get in the way to try to stop a bond like that. So I'm stressing to you folks, take the time to get to know, like, and trust people. Open up to people. Do nice things for people. Let them do nice things or for you. And I can promise you it's going to make a huge difference in your future success regardless of whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. Very, very important. So just wanted to throw that out there. Food for thought. Take it for whatever it's worth. Little Coach Eli proverb to start off the show here today. Mutt Nuts World says, we had a bunch of water spouts and rotation clouds yesterday here. And basically, water spouts is just a small tornado out on the water. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I don't have any experience dealing with tornadoes or hurricanes or flash floods or anything like that. I guess I'm a little spoiled out here in the San Francisco Bay Area. Not trying to say I'm all that. I'm just saying that, we have great weather here typically most of the time. And we don't have to deal with the types of natural disasters that you folks on the East Coast and in other parts of the country and the world have to deal with. So, but I definitely understand. And yeah, if you want to continue to educate this Bay Area boy here throughout the show, feel free to do so. I definitely enjoy that. Moderator and channel member, Mutt Nuts World. And moderators, feel free to share your links or other people's links in the chat that you feel are worthy of promoting. You always have my blessing to do that. From here on out, like I mentioned in the past, I'm only going to be moderating people that I fully trust and give them my full blessing to do what they feel is right, during my live streams. Oh, wow. Proud Boy Patriot Gaming with a 99-cent super sticker. Well, thank you so much for that. I did mention in a stream, I believe it was a couple days ago, that I'm no longer going to be tallying up, channel donations. I'm not going to be showing them on the screen. And if people do PayPal me or send me a Cash App donation at $the real Coach Eli, I will be thanking them for their donation, but I'm not going to be mentioning the amount. Now, if you do super chat or super sticker, obviously the amount is public and it gets highlighted in the chat for, a little while, depending on how much you donate. That's what, that's the length that it stays in the chat. But thank you once again, Proud Boy Patriot Gaming, for the 99-cent super chat, or super sticker actually, with the sunglasses. I greatly appreciate that. All right, so let's get right to it. The title of today's stream is, guys, this is what you're up against in today's dating world. Both men and women, listen up. Guys, this is what you're up against in today's dating world. Both men and women, listen up. I've mentioned this before. I'll say it again. A lot of times on this channel, I focus my content on men and men's issues that they're having, with women and dating. But at the same time, I'm also catering my content to women, and I also help and can help women as well. Because the more women understand what men are going through, they're going to understand why they're not getting the results in the dating world that they think they should be getting. And today I'm going to be dissecting a blog written by a woman. I guess that is happy for feminism, but she doesn't consider herself a feminist. And she actually, is wondering what's going on and why her dating world is such a struggle. When I came across this article, I was kind of laughing, because I've been talking about this stuff for many years now. So have many other guys out here on YouTube, and there's nothing but truth regarding it. The problem is when you talk about things like this that are true, a lot of times it will offend women for no reason. But at the same time, women come out and speak their mind about men, just like this woman did. So if she's going to speak her mind, in a professional and proper way, and say, hey, what the heck is going on with men? Us men should have the right to respond to that and say, here's what the heck is going on. Let us explain to you how we feel about you based on the way you're behaving, and let us share with you why we feel you're behaving the way you're behaving compared to the way things used to be before feminism. So let me just do this. Let me go ahead and switch over to the browser screen here. How's the audio and video, Queen and Mutt? Are we looking pretty good? Are we in sync? Is the sound good? Let me know. Sound check. Video check. All right, let's switch over here to the browser screen. Oh, I hate when this happens. The chat sometimes will screw up. So let me just do this. Give me 1 second, folks. I will fix that in a second. Let me just type in thanks. I got this OBS thing down. I can fix issues with OBS on the fly real quick, just like I did. All right, chat is back. All right, so the title of the blog today is, I am all for feminism, but it's kind of making it harder to date. One more time. I'm all for feminism, but it is kind of making it harder to date. No kidding, ma'am. I bet you're wondering why it's become so difficult to date men nowadays. Ever since women became liberated, women have risen up. They have equal rights. They're able to do the same things nowadays that only once men were able to do. The right to vote, the right to bear arms, equal pay for equal work, etc. And I'm all for that. I'm all for that. And a lot of women will say that that is what feminism is defined off of. And there's probably some truth to that. But I don't even like to think of the word feminism as women having equal rights. I feel equal rights are equal rights. I feel feminism, or at least as I like to say it, radical feminism is a social stigma regarding, how, certain women out there feel things should be for women and feel how men should be towards women. And then what they end up doing is they end up projecting those views, indoctrinating those views, and brainwashing those views into many decent women out there to follow this agenda. And I think it's really sad because I think a lot of women, really want to have a great relationship and really want to relate with men. Yes, they want to have the equal rights. They want to be able to work and make their own money, and they want to be able to do the things that only once men were able to do, no problem. But they also want to date. But they're not realizing why men sometimes aren't taking a second look, or sometimes men will talk with a woman, for a half an hour by phone, especially if you meet a woman on the internet, through online dating. I always suggest to people, take it to the phone and have a conversation and ask a lot of questions, because you can find out a lot about, someone's personality and their beliefs and how they are, very quickly. And again, I'm not here to bash women on this. I'm here to help men and women, but there's a lot of truth to this. But I'll tell you honestly, what I look for when I talk to a woman, in a first phone conversation, like I said, for example, if I meet a woman through Match.com or OkCupid or whatever dating site I'm using, dating app I'm using, I take it to the phone as quickly as possible. I ask a lot of questions, and I look to see how she responds and if she's open to responding to my questions. And if she's not, and she's guarded, to me, or if she comes at me very strong, or if she has a rough tone of voice and is not, doesn't have that sweet sounding voice, that to me, I'm not trying to judge or stereotype. That to me is saying that she's been brainwashed by the feminist agenda. It doesn't mean she's a bad person. It just means that she's been brainwashed into some ideology created by another group of women that, feel the need to stand up for women in ways above and beyond what, the Equal Rights Amendment was created for and the Civil Rights Act was created for. It's almost like, a group of women out there are feeling like women should be privileged or have special privileges. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not attacking anybody. I'm just stating, what I see and how I feel, this is happening and how it's affecting not only women in this situation, but men as well. So let me see here. Proud Boy, Patriot Gaming, and more. I would say I'm all for classic feminists. Recently, they seem to just be trouble. It's been like that for a while, man. And I don't think it's even their fault. I just think it's, there are a group of women out there that, have a lot of power and a lot of say, and they're able to brainwash and indoctrinate other decent, normal, innocent women into their ideology. And next thing you know, once you get enough women on board, the few remaining feel like, hey, if we don't get on board, then we're not a part of this movement that has, given us these equal rights, etc. So anyway, so I'm going to get into this blog right now because I'm sorry, I'm getting a little distracted by the chat here, but I'm going to get into this blog right now. And you're going to see exactly what I mean. This was very, very interesting. Probably one of the more interesting blogs that I've come across, because it was basically written in the first person, and this woman is sharing her experiences like I do. I like when people share their experiences. All right, so it's written by Jennifer Lee, and it's from the blog site or website bold.com, BOLDE.com. And later on, if I remember, hopefully I remember, I'll share the blog link in the chat. There are a lot of pop-ups and ads, which is what I'm trying to say on this blog site. So I'm going to do my very best to not let that be distracting. But I understand it. People have to make money, and I'm promoting this site so people can go there and they can make more money. They deserve it. It's a good site. All right. So she starts up by saying, I consider myself a feminist, but I can't lie. I'm starting to notice its effects on my dating life. No kidding, ma'am. Are you just starting to notice that? Did you just become woke, like they say? How many of you have heard of that word, woke? I didn't even know what the word woke meant. I've been hearing it a lot lately. I know it's been around, but I did some research on it today, and some people may say, "Oh, Eli, where have you been? The word woke's been around." I mean, I've heard people say woke, and I guess it means awaken to the situation or something like that. But I'm reading right now. I'm not going to show this part on the screen. I'm reading right now on Google. It says, and this is from Wikipedia, woke as a political term of African American origin refers to a perceived awareness of issues concerning social justice and racial justice. It derives from the African American vernacular English expression, stay woke, whose grammatical aspect refers to a continuing awareness of these issues. So it's basically being awake, awakened to what's really happening here. And when it comes to male and female relationship dynamics in the modern world, if you're not woke per se to what's going on between men and women, whether you're a man or a woman, you're in for a big surprise. You're in for a huge surprise. So anyway, maybe she's been Queen's heard it. Well, Queen, you've heard of everything. Queen, you're like the political analyst of this channel, Queen. You're not only the head moderator, you're like the head anchor of CNN. Well, no, you don't like CNN. I'm just messing with you. But anyway, all right. So let's continue here. This doesn't change my belief in equality. Ma'am, I feel the same way as you do. I feel women should have equal rights. I feel women should, get equal pay for equal work as long as they're qualified for the same job in the ways a man would need to qualify for it. That's what equality is all about. I feel women should have the right to vote, the right to bear arms, even though you're emotional creatures. I mean, hopefully you won't snap with those emotions and do something wrong. But yeah, I feel you should have the same rights that men have always had. That is not the issue. And to me, I don't even consider that, feminism, even though technically it kind of is. When I hear the word I'm a feminist or feminism or radical feminism, I think of the women that feel, I feel the women that feel this are women that feel they have risen above men and they are better than men. And the truth of the matter is men and women, should be equal. And in my opinion, are equal. Are we different? Yes. Do we have different aspects to bring to the table, due to our biology? Absolutely. But, when it comes to living in the modern world and opportunities and all that, we are completely equal. I agree. I just hope that men and women can eventually learn to date in harmony because it is pretty messy right now. Well, ma'am, part of the reason why it's pretty messy is because of your perception of this and you calling yourself a feminist. I will tell you right now, no disrespect. You can call yourself whatever you want. I respect that. But while I respect that doesn't mean that I would date a woman that calls herself a feminist. Any woman that calls herself a feminist, I'm going to immediately eliminate. And I'll tell you why as we continue moving forward. But I don't think you really want to call yourself a feminist. I think that you've been brainwashed and indoctrinated into an ideology by a group of other women that may be leading a big tribe or something, right? So let's continue moving forward and see what she says. And I may even take a break in the middle of this. It may take longer than I figured it would because I have a lot of commentary to make on this. I thought this show would only be an hour, but it may be a little bit longer. Number one, I am hyper aware of every sexist thing a guy does now. Wow. One more time. I am hyper aware of every sexist thing a guy does now. Now, please pardon the videos and advertisements and stuff right now. I do not endorse any of this stuff, but I mean, you want to check out the site, no problem. It doesn't take much for me to overanalyze a guy's intentions nowadays. Well, nothing wrong with getting to know a guy and seeing if he's genuine or trying to play you, ma'am. That's totally normal. The problem I see in this same situation is that when a good guy like me meets a woman like you, apparently you seem to be a good woman. You're just, wondering why, things aren't working out between you and men. Okay. If somebody were to overanalyze me and not just get to know me, that would turn me off. I'm open to answering any questions you have regarding me to get to know me. At the same time, I'm going to ask you a lot of those questions or all of them. And if you're not open to answering all those questions, that's not going to work for me. So number one, the line of communication has to be open, and we have to be very transparent and not be afraid to share with each other who we really are. But when she says overanalyze, this is the type of woman that would be like, you sound too good to be true. Like, how do I know, like, everything you're telling me, is for real? How do I know you're not telling me this to try to get something else from me? Well, the truth of the matter is, man, you're not going to know unless you take that chance and see it for yourself by going on some dates and hanging out and just letting the natural flow of progression take things where they're meant to be. It involves relationships involve taking a chance with somebody to be able to figure out their intentions, right? But if you ask enough initial questions at the beginning, you're going to have a pretty good idea, where it could possibly go. And you want to give yourself the best possible chance of making something work by pre-qualifying someone, when you first meet them, first conversation. If you meet them online, talk with them on the phone for an hour before you decide to even meet. That's what I do. If you meet someone in person, give them your number, or if they ask for your number and you like the guy and you're attracted to him, you want to get to know him, give him your number and, say, hey, you know what, give me a call tomorrow. I'd like to talk with you and get to know you better. And then take that opportunity to ask all the qualifying questions, man. I used to see a guy opening a door for me as nice and polite. It is. I still do that to this day. If any woman questions me for being a little chivalrous and old school, even though I'm a modern man and I get it, I know how it works. If you question me for me doing a nice thing for you, then that turns me off. That'll be the last day that I ever see you, because that's pretty rude, especially if I'm trying to be nice and courteous and polite to you. But lately, gestures like this have been making me angry. Let me repeat that again. I used to see a guy opening a door for me as nice and polite, but lately, gestures like this have been making me angry. Why, ma'am? Do you not want a man to be nice to you? Do you not want a man to treat you well with respect? Or would you rather have a man treat you like crap and slam the door in your face? Because right now, man, on one hand, you're saying, I'm wondering, what happened to men. And on the other hand, you're saying when the right man comes around and does all the nice things that men are supposed to do, then you get angry. That's a pretty contradicting statement there. I know the guys offering these acts of chivalry have no intention to make me feel smaller or lesser than. That's true, ma'am. So what's the problem? Let me read that again. I know the guys offering these acts of chivalry have no intention to make me feel small or lesser than. But now that my eyes have been opened, meaning that you've been woke, right? Now that my eyes have been opened to feminist theory, there's the issue, ma'am. It's all I'm able to think about. You're flat out admitting, ma'am, that the problem is within you. And this ideology, this theory of feminism that someone brainwashed you to believe, right? And whether you fully believe it or not, it's making you think twice about everything. And men will pick up on that. And the moment a guy like me picks up on that is the moment I'm like, it's not going to work for me. It's not because you're not cute enough or you're not smart enough or you wouldn't be a good match for me. It's because if you're going to have that in the back of your head, it's not going to allow you to be the natural person you were meant to be. You're not going to be genuine and authentic. You're going to be like a robot or a computer that's been pre-programmed with the feminist agenda by somebody or some group of other women, or some woman or some other group of women, which is what I'm trying to say. Wow. Let me check out the chat here real quick. Let me see how many points there are. There are 11 points. I'm going to get through the first like 5, and then I'm going to take a break, 5 or 6, take a break. Give me a second here. Let me check out the chat. How are we doing there? Kelvin Clymer, how you doing, bro? Haven't seen you in a while. You're still a mod here. Love you like a brother, bro. Hey, how's it going over here? Haven't been able to check in a while. No problem, Kelvin. Hope you're doing well, man. What's been going on with you? Great to have you on board, and glad to see you here, man. You're still a mod. Love you like a brother, man. Queen LNK says, hello, Kelvin. Mutt Nuts World says, I am still here listening and cleaning my office. Absolutely. Proud Boy, Patriot Gaming and more. So it ruined a good girl. Well, I don't know what the PC way of saying it is. I guess you can say it that way. I'm trying to keep this as clean as possible, and I'm not here to create any controversy. I'm just here to state the facts to help people. But yeah, it's affecting this woman. It's not only affecting her; it's affected many women. I honestly feel the feminist agenda has affected the majority of women. What number is that? I don't know. If I had to guess, I'd probably say at least 75, 80% of women globally have been affected by this, especially here in the U.S. And as I've been, putting myself back out there into online dating and talking with women, like I talk to women all the time. I put myself out there. I respond to profiles that I feel are a good match for me, and I feel I would be a good match for them as well. And I talk to women all the time. They respond to me and they're interested. But the problem is when I get on the phone with them, it's always about me. And, we'll get into the topic of, feminism somehow. And then they get very, very quiet, or, they stop contributing to the conversation. They don't know what to say, or, they start becoming really defensive. And if they start becoming really defensive over a simple conversation, it's game over. I don't want to be with somebody like that. All right. Number 2, guys are starting. Guys are starting to think we don't need them anymore. Well, I don't think it's gone that far. Guys are starting to think we don't need them anymore. It's not about that, man. But when you have other prominent, women figures out there, public figures and stuff that are going out there and saying, ladies, we don't need a man for anything. We can do it all on our own, right? And you're hearing that over and over again. I'm not surprised you put that there, ma'am. But yeah, why would you think that guys are starting to think that you don't need us anymore? Is it because the way the system has been created, it's allowed you to pretty much do everything nowadays that you depended on and relied on a man to do for you in the past? Because that's how, naturally men and women were made to be by a higher power believed to be God. Now, the only thing you ladies can't do, without us is get pregnant. You still need our sperm, but even then, you can go to sperm bank from that. But even at that point, guys have to go down there and, give the semen sample, right? But yeah, we do think that. We do think that because that's what the system you're choosing to follow has brainwashed you to believe, or led you to believe. All right. And ignore that ad down below there. I can't get rid of that. Even though the feminist movement is pretty much the best thing to happen to this world since sliced bread. Oh my God, really? I got to repeat that again. Even though the feminist movement is pretty much the best thing to happen to this world since sliced bread, no, ma'am. That's not true. Now, I think what you're trying to say in other words, but if you wrote it, too PG, you probably wouldn't have got the attention you got from this profile, probably not even me, or from this blog, not even me, which is what I'm trying to say. I think what you're saying is that the best thing that's happened to women in a long time or in history is women getting equal rights, is women having, the right to vote, the right to bear arms, is women not being discriminated against in the workforce or any other aspects of life, right? I think that's what you're trying to say. That is the best thing that's happened to women. I will give you that. But when you bundle it with the word feminism, which may include the things I just mentioned, there's a lot more included, at least with the social stigma of feminism than just the things that I honestly feel women deserve, right? Feminism, or the feminist movement, is pretty much the best thing that happened to this world since sliced bread. I bet you 90+% of men all over this world would disagree with you, man. And the ones that don't disagree with you are the ones that are the beta males that don't have a clue what's going on, and they'll cater and submit to anything a woman asks them to do. Those are the kind of guys that really want to help. It is taking its toll in the dating scene. Right. Now you're seeing the repercussions of feminism, right, man? In essence, you're saying, on one hand, the feminist movement gave us all our rights and gave us all this power that we didn't have, right? And now, we're equal to men. That's great, right? But it's taking its toll on the dating scene, because now guys, like, I talk with guys, or they talk with me, and after one conversation, they don't talk with me anymore. Why? What's wrong with me? Am I not beautiful enough? No, you're hot. Am I not smart enough? No, you're smart. Do I not have my stuff together? Yes, you do. But I don't want to sit there and be with a woman that is going to keep on projecting this feminist agenda and keep on saying, oh, I'm, girl power and this and that. I don't want to be there. I don't want to be with a woman that's going to exude more masculine energy than feminine energy. And that's what it all boils down to. And this action that you're taking, ma'am, to speak out in this way is not a typical feminine energy type of thing. This is more of a dominant masculine energy type of approach. No problem. It's fine. I'm just telling you from a dating standpoint how I feel and how other guys feel. You can do whatever you want to do. You have the rights to do whatever you want to do. But us guys also can choose to not date women like you. It's our choice. Does that mean we're discriminating? No, we're just choosing to not date women like you. That's the bottom line. The thing is, I'm starting to get a bit of a standoffish vibe from guys. Right, because of what I've been telling you. Right. Is this waking you up more? Are you becoming more woke, ma'am? Are you? The thing is, I'm starting to get a bit of a standoffish vibe from guys. Yeah, women used to be standoffish towards men. They still are. But now guys are saying, screw this. We didn't sign up for this. We're men, and we've always been men. And we're going to continue to be men no matter what. We're not going to change the way we've been. We're not even asking women to change the way they've always been. And even though women have been empowered to work and have equal rights and all that, we're cool with that. What we're not cool with is the fact that women feel now that a lot of women feel that they've risen above men and they deserve special privileges to make up for all the time in the past that they were supposedly oppressed, right? But it's funny, back in those days where, women didn't have the rights they have today, marriages lasted longer. And it seemed like, women were happier and no one was complaining about dating back then or marriage, right? So why don't you take what I just said there and answer your own question, why guys are being standoffish towards you, ma'am? Like they're afraid to make a move. Yeah, we're afraid to make a move because you might go hashtag me too on us. Right. If we make a move on you and, whether you like us or not, who knows at some point down the road, if you ever feel slighted by us, that you're not going to report us to human resources or call the police on us. Right. And part of the feminist agenda has convinced the courts to always say that the woman is right even when she's wrong. I've heard of stories where men were attacked and raped by women and the man still pays the price for it. How fair is that, man? Like they're afraid to make a move. It's not that we're afraid to make a move. It's that us men that have been woke or awakened, right? We know the system. We know how it works. And we know the repercussions of things. Even normal things like asking a woman out or making a move. And I think it's because they think that we don't need them anymore. That's part of it, but that's not the whole thing. The biggest thing is that all of the laws, the divorce laws and the harassment laws and all that stuff, they all favor women. So the bottom line is if we go on an innocent date with you and you're showing us that you like us, and then we make a move and we touch you in a way that you seem to be receptive during that time, okay? But then the next day, you go home and you're like, I didn't really approve of him touching me there. Well, man, you were okay with that last night. Can you now change your mind after you gave the go-ahead the night before? And now you're going to go and call the police and file a harassment report on me or something, right? That's where the issue's at, man. It's not even more so that, we think that you ladies, don't need us anymore. Yeah, to a certain extent, that is part of it. That's not really how I look at it. My bigger concern is, the special privileges men get in the court system and with the law. And, hey, if a man hits a woman, right, he's going to go to jail. What happens in most cases when a woman hits a man? When a woman hits a man, she, and even if the man calls the cops, in many cases, the cop asks the woman what happened, and then the cop will arrest the man for something he didn't do. How fair is that? You ever thought of that? I'm not going to go and cry a river for them because that's something they're going to have to figure out within their own psyches. No, man, we figured it out. You haven't figured it out. And I'm not trying to be rude by saying that, but the bottom line is you're the one coming out here saying, that I guess you said you are a feminist. Sorry. Earlier I said you weren't. You are a feminist. But let me go back and look and see what you said there. I consider myself a feminist, but I can't lie. I'm starting to notice its effects on my dating life. Are you not beginning to understand, ma'am, that the fact that you consider yourself a feminist is putting a label on you that's unnecessary? You are a strong modern-day woman, and you want to be respected equally to a man. No problem. You want the same opportunities that only once men had. No problem. Why can't we leave it at that and live our lives as men and women like we always have? But it doesn't stop there. Just like you've been saying. I'm not going to go and cry a river for them because that's something they're going to have to figure out within their own psyches. It's just something I've noticed, and it's a bit of a shame. No, ma'am, it's a shame that you're seeing it that way because that is the ideology that you've been brainwashed to believe by somebody out there, either a prominent woman or a feminist group or something like that, right? No disrespect. I'm just stating what I've seen. And I honestly don't think you're trying to be rude. I don't think that, I don't even think you want to be behaving this way. But when the majority of women are leading you to behave this way, what other choice do you feel you have? If you're not on board, then you're not on board with, the women's movement and how far along women have come. I respect more so the independent thinker, whether you're a man or a woman. This whole thing that's causing these issues, man, is a tribal thing amongst women. And I firmly believe that most women are victims of this. They're victims of this. That's what's going on. Oh, I think she was doing a promotion here on number 3. I'm just going to skip to number 4. Let me read this here. Let me read the chat here. I've started my vacation, says Kelvin Clymer, but I doubt it lasts for long as I have to look for work at the same time. But as I'm on vacation, I couldn't really have it. I think you would say have it better, so doing quite well. All right, bro. Awesome. Good to hear that. Well, in that case, we don't need them anymore, but we all need friends and relationships. When a woman says they don't need us, that just sounds like a weird thing to say. I wouldn't like a girl like that. Of course, bro, that's the problem, dude. And I don't think this woman is a bad woman. I think this woman has just been convinced by some more prominent women that have an authoritative voice. And she's following the agenda. That's what I think is happening. Okay. Wow. Kelvin Clymer says, of course, we men have to be more careful with a woman in a relationship. Of course, for many reasons, because the cards are stacked against us primarily through the system, through the law and the court system. And, a lot of men have tried to get a group of men together to kind of try to change the laws to protect men equally in these situations of domestic abuse and divorce and all that. But it hasn't happened, and it probably never will. Who knows? And if it even does happen, it's not going to happen in my lifetime. Number 4, one little anti-feminist comment can completely turn me off. Well, that's why it's not working for you, man, because you want to come out here and talk about men, but when we want to talk about you and feminism, you don't want to hear it, right? So what part of that is fair? Seriously. One little anti-feminist comment can completely turn me off. I'm not anti-woman, ma'am, and I'm not anti-women having equal rights. And I'm not anti, women being treated fairly in ways that they weren't treated fairly in the past. I'm okay with that. But when you say anti-feminist or feminist, to me, feminism stems above and beyond women getting equal rights and being equal to men and all that. It stems to women getting more protection and getting special privileges from the court system to protect them from men. For what? For us providing? For us being men like we've always been? I mean, do you want us to change, the way we've always been? Are you attracted to, strong, confident, successful, alpha males that, are hard workers, make something out of themselves, and are good providers and just good men? Yeah, it's pretty sad to see this. When I'm out with a guy and he says one thing when I'm out with a guy and he says one thing that's even remotely offensive towards women, I find it really hard to recover. No guy's trying to be offensive. We're just trying to state our opinion, man. We're trying to share with you how we feel about what's going on in the same ways that you're sharing how you feel, right? You're coming out here right now and you're stating your opinions, which may be facts, right? And I believe you feel this way, and I get it. You're the perfect example. That's why I'm critiquing your blog posting. Okay? But again, why are you allowed to speak on us when we can't speak on you? And most guys will do it respectfully and professionally. Like for me, you're right. Whenever with most women I talk about this with, even if they're nice initially, they start getting offended. They get guarded, right? And I don't do it in the way of attacking them. I do it in a very loving and caring and soft-spoken and lighthearted way. But it doesn't matter how you approach it with many women. If you even talk about it, they get triggered, they get offended. That's the problem. That's what's keeping guys away from you. That's why guys are running away from you. You're repelling men with that attitude. Because in essence, when you're reacting that way, you're behaving more masculine than feminine. And that repels men. Definitely repels me. I want to be with a feminine woman. I don't want to be with a woman that's going to want to kick my ass or slap me around and do stuff like that. I'd rather be alone. Come on, man. I instantly write guys off if they aren't woke to the current social mindset towards gender politics and can't let it go. So in essence, man, you're writing guys off that are not feminists themselves and believe in the feminist agenda, right? You're saying that you want men to conform to the social stigma and ideology that was created within feminism for women. And in essence, at the same time, you're saying that you don't want us to be men anymore, which is what you are naturally attracted to a man based off, right? So you're going to write guys off that aren't woke. But let me ask you this, man. Do you feel you're woke to what you're talking about men? Because you're wondering, maybe you've gotten a lot of feedback on this blog. I didn't check that out. I'll check it out later. But you want men to be woke towards women. Are you woke towards men? Is it a fair two-way street, man? That's all I'm saying. Like, I don't have a problem with you stating your opinions and putting it out there and trying to figure out what the heck's going on. I've been doing the same thing for years. But if you're going to put it out there and you're going to do a blog like this, or, you want men to be accepting to the way things are with women, then at least you got to be open to hearing their take on it. Because I'll tell you this, most men would not be putting up with this. They would be like, if I was on a date with you and, we talked about feminism and I saw you getting offended, I would immediately say, check, please, and end the date before you can even do it, man. Because if you can't handle a simple conversation that you yourself feel you have the right to discuss, and you get offended when a man wants to put his input in it, then I want nothing to do with that, because you're not being fair. You're being very selfish about it. And that's the main reason why it's not working out for you. Let's just say I've gone on a lot of first dates that never go anywhere. Let me repeat that one more time. Let's just say I've gone on a lot of first dates that never go anywhere. I'm not surprised one bit, man. I'm not surprised one bit, myself or any of my friends that are single, that are woke per se, like you said, right? Would never go on a second date with a woman that is talking this way or feels this way. And if we talk with you on the phone and you behave this way towards us, we wouldn't even go on that first date with you in the first place. We wouldn't waste our time. We don't want to deal with this. We want to hang around a fun, naturally feminine, sweet, loving, and, down to earth woman. Not one that's going to say, I am woman, hear me roar. Come on now. I'm going to read one more, then I'm going to take a break. Oops, hang on a second. Uh-oh. Come on. Can't get this to stick. Hold on. There we go. All right, let me check the chat here real quick. All this can definitely make dating difficult. It absolutely can. It absolutely can, and it has. It definitely has. Give me 1 second here. I'm getting, when I go live on a weekend, boom. Wow. Wow. Oh, man. Being a YouTuber is not easy, folks, and it comes with a lot more than just, running your channel and speaking your truth. And the more and more I'm on this platform and seeing human behavior and seeing what people do, and the more I find out about certain people I've once been associated with, it just makes me go, wow. So, I know some people are sending me some information behind the scenes. If you're around later on tonight, I'd be happy to chat with you folks privately. Wow. And no, you're not distracting my show, because I'm talking about, this is what men are up against, and you're sending me some information that kind of pertains to my topic. Anyway. Number 5, it's like guys are walking on eggshells around us. One more time. It's like guys are walking on eggshells around us. You know why, ma'am? You know why we're walking on eggshells around you? Because it only takes one minor thing for you to call the cops and say that we tried to rape you, or we hit you, right? Who's to say that you're not going to, hit yourself, create a self-inflicting wound and then call the cops and say we did it, right? Okay? Who's to say that you won't consent to sex tonight and then tomorrow you'll say, I never consented to it, right? So can you understand why we're walking on eggshells when we've seen other men pay the price through the judicial system for something they didn't do? Think about it. I wonder how old this woman is. I didn't look into that. I got to look into that. Guys are feeling the heat, and we can all tell, of course, but you're feeling the heat too. You're not saying that, but you're showing it. They're afraid to compliment us or relate to us in the way they were always taught to, and trust me, this is a good thing. Well, ma'am, you're saying that guys are feeling the heat and we're afraid to compliment you. No, I'm not afraid to compliment a woman as long as she deserves a compliment. And a woman like you behaving this way is not going to deserve any compliments from me. I'm just being honest with you. In essence, you're saying, why can't guys be the way they were in the past, right? Why can't they compliment us like they used to? What's wrong? Well, ma'am, why can't you be the way you were in the past before feminism? Is that a fair response? Is that a fair question? That's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to be rude. Like, you're coming out here saying, why are you afraid to compliment us? And I'm saying we're not afraid to compliment you. We just don't feel a lot of women deserve the compliments, nowadays in this context of dating, because of what you're saying here in this blog. If you deserve a compliment, I'd give you one, or we'd give you one. But again, you're not sitting there and taking into consideration the ways that feminism has negatively impacted you. You're only looking at it from a positive standpoint, right? Maybe you're realizing it now. Now, feminism has helped you get equal rights and all that stuff. I get it. All good. But it's considerably affected or almost practically destroyed male and female relationship dynamics. That's what you're saying here, in other words. However, women still like to be pursued, at least I do, and it is unfortunate that by finally standing up for our rights and demanding respect, we're totally scaring men away. It's so messed up and a total shame, man. It's because you're not behaving like a natural feminine woman when you're doing that. And men are not attracted to women that exude more masculine energy than feminine energy. I don't understand what part of that women don't understand. You want to be strong women, you want to be woman, hear me roar, go for it. It's just not going to work for me romantically. That's my choice. You want to attract a man to want to be with you, then be ladylike. Or we can choose to not want to be with you. That's not our problem. That's your problem, ma'am. Right? It sounds like to me you're expecting men to completely change the way they've always been just because women have altered how they've been through feminism. Right? That's what it sounds like to me. When we get back, it's going to get better. I've been brainwashed to assume the worst in men. That's going to get good. But before we get to that, let me go back to full screen here. Look who's here. Darren, MGTOW's the only way to live. How you doing, brother? Welcome to the show, man. Wishing you good health, Coach. I'm doing great, bro. I'm talking about, guys, this is what you're up against in today's dating world. Both men and women, listen up, man. It's an interesting blog. I don't know how much of the show you've caught, man, but it's a pretty good one, man. Hope you're doing well. Are you doing better, MGTOW's the only way to live, a.k.a. Darren? Let me know. Dude, I feel like I'm like literally 85 to 90% healed, bro. I'm walking around a lot better. Throughout this whole thing I mentioned in the past, I even had constipation. My constipation's gone. My bowel movements, I know people don't really want to hear this, but I'm going to say it anyway. My bowel movements are back to being normal and regular. I've been introducing more fiber into my diet. I drink an 8-ounce glass of prune juice light every morning, which has a lot of fiber. I've been really eating even more healthy than I did in the past. So yeah, it's all good. It's all good. So smash the like button for Eli, says Queen. Thank you, Queen. All right, let me cue up some music here. Let me cue up some long tracks because I need to take care of something while I'm on break and get some more coffee and use the restroom and all that jazz. Let's see here. Give me a second. What am I going to play? Let me see here. I need some long tracks. Come on, I'm going down the list. Okay, yeah, I've got some long tracks there. That's good. One more. Come on. All right, there we go. All right, folks. I'm going to step away for a quick 5 to 7 or 8 minute break. When I get back, we're going to continue forward with this blog, and we're going to talk about this woman stating, "I've been brainwashed to assume the worst in men." Stick around. You're not going to want to miss that. All right, do not go anywhere. We'll be right back.
say.
Does everyone feel good
To walk
today?
like two out the door. Then you have
magic. Slow it down, slow it down, slow it down, slow it down. Feel it with me, feel it, come on. We need more positivity in this world, come on. Feel it. Get rid of all the hate in your heart and soul. Be a good human being. Come on, folks. We have enough hate in this world. We don't need any more. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. Welcome back to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli, live here on YouTube. It is 6:53 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, 3:53 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time in my neck of the woods. I'm here in the beautiful, glorious San Francisco Bay Area, Northern California to be exact. It is Sunday! The day of rest, right? But I'm not resting. I'm here working for each and every one of you, providing you some great information, some great content. I hope you're all getting some great value. And I hope that you all realize that this is not a bashing stream. I don't bash on anyone, whether you're male or female. I don't attack people. That's not my purpose of doing this. My purpose of doing this is to raise awareness and to really share my opinions of what I really feel is happening. And a lot of people feel the same way. And like I've mentioned on many shows in the past, this has been happening for quite some time, folks, or quite some time. I can't even talk here. There's definitely a disconnect between men and women in the modern world and dating and trying to balance this feminism thing into it, trying to balance the way women are nowadays compared to the way they were in the past with a man that has never changed. Men are still the same. We're still the same as we've always been. But women have definitely changed, and they have changed in many cases for the better regarding the equality thing. But when it comes to dating, it's also changed women to think differently, and in my opinion, not take men's feelings into consideration how this has affected us. We understand how it's affected you. And for the guys that don't understand how it's affected women, I can help you teach that. But I honestly feel that a lot of women don't understand how it's affected men. Now, some of you do, and that's great. Hats off to you, props to you. Whether you're male or female, if you don't understand this, feel free to reach out to me. I'm willing to help you. Go to my website, coacheli.com. Look at the coaching services tab, and I'd be happy to help you. Choose a package that works for you. I'd be happy to help you. Now, if you want to suggest a topic that I feel would be valuable for my entire audience to see, between now and the end of September 30th, I'm taking free topic requests. It doesn't guarantee that I'm going to do your topic. Again, like I said, it has to make sense where my entire audience would get benefit. Okay, so if you don't want to do a coaching session with me, write me an email, coacheli@coacheli.com. That email's below in the description. And share your story. Ask your questions. Be as detailed as possible. Okay, and don't write a short email. Write a detailed email explaining how you feel, what you're concerned about, etc. 2, 3 paragraphs, 4 or 5 paragraphs. And I will do a live stream or a pre-recorded video, whatever makes more sense, to respond to you and share my thoughts and help you out in any way possible. All right. Looks like we're getting some new people in the chat here. Let's see here. Daily Dose of Giggles, welcome to the show. Queen, Daily Dose of Giggles is good. I met them through the Growth Stream community. Thank you so much for being here. How are you today? Welcome to the show. If you missed any parts of it, you're going to want to go back and check out the replay because a lot of interesting information was shared, which is what I'm trying to say. Queen Helen Casey was dancing during the break there. I love how she puts those dancing women, emojis there. That's wonderful. Muttnuts World says, Wow. Think I took on a huge task cleaning my office because my OCD has kicked in, and now I am not only cleaning, I am moving my office around. Sometimes I hate having OCD. Well, I love how you own that, Mutt, and I love how transparent and honest you are, and that is great. I know you're going to keep on, pushing forward to make happen whatever you want to make happen, and you're doing a great job. By the way, another members only video should be coming tomorrow. That's when the next one will be released, tomorrow or Tuesday. And like I mentioned to those of you in the past that haven't been following my other streams, I'm going to be going down to 1 to 2 members only videos per week until I fully recover from my pinched nerve. I'm 85 to 90% recovered. I'm thinking one more week, week and a half, and I will be in full force. And then the content's really going to kick in to high gear at that point. All right, let's get back to this blog here, because this is just interesting. Do you feel this is interesting, Queen, Mutt, anyone else that's here? Is this an interesting blog? Are you sitting there and, soaking in what this woman on this blog is saying and how she's coming off? I'm just curious to know. Number 6, I've been brainwashed to assume the worst in men. At least you're admitting it. I've been brainwashed to assume the worst in men. You have a picture there of 3 beautiful women, diverse, African-American women. I think that's a Latin woman in the middle and then a Caucasian woman on the right. I think they're all beautiful in their own special way. I wouldn't have a problem hanging out with them. If I was out on that beach, I'd go over there, hey, ladies, how you doing? How's your day going, right? No, they seem receptive. They're smiling. They have their shades on. They look happy, right? But if I showed up there, would you think I'm trying to intrude your space, or would you welcome me and say, hey, nice to meet you, Eli, tell us about yourself? Well, okay. I'd be a little distracted by your beauty because they're gorgeous, but you know what? I do my best to keep it together. I ain't going to lie. I ain't going to lie to kick it, right? Right? You know the phrase, folks, right? I ain't going to lie to kick it, right? Anyway, oh man. All it takes is one quick scroll down my newsfeed, and I have enough feminist rants to last me several winters. Well, man, that's why you're single. I think I've almost trained my brain to assume all men are here to try to put me down and dominate me when that's far from the truth. That is true, man. Well, men are dominant creatures and women are submissive creatures by nature. We're talking by nature. Female nature and feminine energy is more submissive, sweet, nurturing, right? Masculine energy and masculine nature is more rough around the edges, dominant, the leader, the one that goes out and busts butt, makes the money and provides for the family, right? Now we understand women are now leaders as well too, and that's totally great. I think where the issue is, like I've mentioned in the past, is that women want to go out there and get into jobs and make the money that only once men were able to make. But in order to do that, in many cases, it requires you ladies to work jobs that require you to exude more masculine energy than feminine energy. No problem doing that at work. But once you leave your job and you come home to us and we're hanging out, if you continue to exude that masculine energy onto me, it's going to turn me off. It would be like me hanging out with a dude, but you're a beautiful woman. And that wouldn't work for me, right? Would you want to be around a man that behaves like you, like a woman? Well, let me ask you this, ladies. The ones that believe in feminism and the ones that, are living the feminist agenda. Okay? Would you date a man that behaved like you and behaved like a feminist? What would that do for you? You gotta flip it around. You gotta put yourself in our shoes to understand how we're feeling based on how you're coming at us, or what you're thinking about us, or what you're saying about us, right? Many men, I'm not saying all men, because some men have not been woke yet, right? And I'll help wake up all these men, right? Okay? But many men understand and put themselves into your shoes. And we understand why you're behaving this way. Doesn't mean that we're going to, give you the time of day for a relationship if you behave this way, but we understand. And in many cases, it's not your fault. You are living someone else's agenda. You yourself said you've been brainwashed, ma'am. I've made it kind of an automatic reflex at this point, though, because you've been indoctrinated into this culture, ma'am. You've been forced into it out of your natural essence. You so badly want to be more feminine, but you've been forced to act more masculine. But you can change that if you want. You just have to eliminate all the stigmas, and you just have to stop listening to the agenda of other people. Number 7. Let me check the chat real quick. I would just walk away and don't look back. Hell no, I wouldn't. What were you ladies responding to? I totally forgot. My apologies. Mutt Nuts World says, hell no, I wouldn't. Queen Helen Casey says, I would just walk away and don't look back. Okay. Number 7, the debate on who should pay has never been more alive. Okay. I don't have a problem paying for most dates. I'm kind of an old school traditional guy, even though I'm in the modern world and dealing with modern women, which is why I prefer to date women that, yes, are modern, because all women are modern women right now, right, in this world, and most of them are working, right? But I also want to date a woman that has some traditional values as well, because I do too. In my last relationship, my ex, offered to pay at least half the time. I ended up paying 80 to 90% of the time. There were times where she said, I'm taking you out tonight. You've done a lot for me. Blah, blah, blah. And she took me to some pretty expensive dinners, and I felt guilty. So for me, it's never been a problem on who should pay for the date. If I'm with a woman that's being feminine and girly to me, I feel like I want to take care of her. That's just how I feel. Now, I understand women can take care of themselves nowadays due to feminism. I get it. But for me, what makes me relate to a woman is, hey, you know what? I love you. I care for you. I want to take you out. I want to show you a good time. I want to protect you. I want to be there for you. Like, honestly, like whenever a woman has paid for me in the past, it almost makes me feel like almost less of a man. And that's kind of weird because I'm that old school. But I've learned to understand it. Even though it's not part of my natural essence of being a man, I've learned to understand and accept it. So let's see what she says regarding this aspect. I'm on the side that believes whoever does the asking should also do the paying. Man, that's not the right way to look at it. It's whatever feels natural in the moment. If I ask a guy out on a date, you ask guys out on dates? I thought men were supposed to approach you, ma'am. Isn't asking someone out on the date a masculine thing? Women used to never ask men out on dates. Nowadays, they kind of do every so often, but for the most part, men still ask women out. If I ask a guy out on the date, I would expect to pay absolutely. If you ask me out on the date, ma'am, number one, I'll be like, whoa. Typically, guys ask women out on dates. Wow, okay. I'm shocked. Oh, why are you shocked? Because it's just not a typical thing. I'd still, if you were cool after asking me on the date and we got to know each other, let's say we met somewhere and you gave me your number, asked me on the date, I'd say, okay, hey, are you free for a call? Let's talk, get to know each other. You want to call me later tonight or tomorrow? I'd have an hour phone conversation with you, get a good feeling about you. And if you're a good enough woman for me to take you out, or I feel like I can, trust you and I feel like there's potential, then I'd take you out and I'd pay. It's the masculine thing for me to do. At least that's how I feel. Boy, she's been really indoctrinated deep into this culture. It's rather comical. If a guy asks me, I would expect that he shells out the money for the evening. Look at the vocabulary she uses. If a guy asks me, I would expect that he shells out the money for the evening. Shell out the money, dude. Whip out the cash. Whip out the credit card, right? I'm so turned off by this. It's just, wow. And she's wondering why she's single. It's just the way it should be. No, ma'am, it's not the way it should be. It should be naturally on what feels right in the moment. And for me, I'm more of an old school kind of guy. And I want to be with a feminine woman. And feminine energy is not paying for dates. Feminine energy is allowing her man to take her out and show her a good time. Now, in the modern world, and this is the kind of guy I am. If I take a woman out or I'm dating someone, I say, hey, babe, what do you think about doing this today? Let's go on a hike. Let me suggest this place. Does that sound good to you, babe? Or do you have a better idea, babe? Right? You're being a man. You're being the leader. You're making plans. You're not being lazy, but you're also saying, babe, I think this sounds good for us. But do you have a better idea? You're respecting her at the same time. However, due to the recent boost in feminism, a guy paying the bill could be seen as anti-feminist, and no guy wants to be considered a misogynist in this day and age. Man, that line was pathetic. I got to read that again. However, due to the recent boost in feminism, well, yeah, it keeps on boosting, man. It keeps on heading in the opposite direction of how I assume you wish it would go, and us men feel the same way. A guy paying the bill could be seen as anti-feminist, and no guy wants to be considered a misogynist in this day and age. Okay. Why would a guy paying the bill be seen as anti-feminist? To be honest with you, most decent alpha males don't really care about feminism. We care about women and equal rights. We care about you for who you are and the kind of person that you end up being, or we just care about your behavior. We care about you being real with us and just being your natural self. A guy paying the bill is a traditional thing. And I understand that traditionalism is not, really there anymore. I still feel there's nothing wrong with a guy paying the bill. And any woman that thinks I'm an anti-feminist because I want to take her out to dinner, open the door for her, and be nice and chivalrous to her, any woman that thinks thinks that I'm an anti-feminist, which is what I'm trying to say, it's not going to, I'm out. That's just not going to work. I mean, wow, I can't even believe she wrote that. That's how she feels. I mean, look, I respect how she feels. I definitely don't agree with it. But wow. The song and dance of who's going to pay has never been more awkward. It's making dating that much more difficult to maneuver. Well, man, you have a lot of guys nowadays that are confused, right? Any decent, strong, confident, loving, caring alpha male would want to take you out and pay most of the time. Okay? And if you want to pay sometimes, you want to offer because you're happy being with the guy, that's fine. That's no problem. It's a masculine thing to do. I mean, what is wrong with that? Wow. I'm afraid of scaring guys off by being too feminist. I'm going to blitz through this because it's a lot of the same stuff. The same way I am hyper aware of when guys are being insulting towards women, I'm also afraid that I'm going to come off as too harsh and dominant, which could easily scare guys away. Well, man, that's how you're coming off. That's why you're scaring guys away. You're answering your own questions, man. The same way I'm hyper aware of when guys are being insulting towards women. We're not being insulting. We're annoyed that you're trying to behave more masculine than feminine, man. We're annoyed because you're not being your natural, normal selves. I'm also afraid that I'm going to come off as too harsh and dominant, which you are, which could easily scare guys away, which you are scaring guys away. Feminism is something I'm passionate about. No, ma'am, you're passionate about having equal rights and equal pay for equal work, okay? And you're passionate about having equality, okay? That's what you're passionate about. You're getting confused about this, okay? But you're taking it beyond that level. You don't understand that when you behave more masculine and dominant than feminine and submissive, it's not attractive to any normal, decent man. It is not at all. That's the problem. That's what you're not understanding. And a lot of women don't get that. And when men try to explain that politely, you get offended because you think that we're anti-feminists. No, we're just anti, masculine women. We're anti-masculine energy with the woman we want to date. Ma'am, do you want to date a feminized man or a masculine man? What do you want? What do you see in men that you like that attracts you to men? Seriously. Being honest. Let me see here. Oh. But I also know how guys can get insecure when I talk about it. No, we're not insecure, ma'am, about it. We're annoyed by it. You're not understanding. She goes, feminism is something I'm passionate about. But I also know how guys can get insecure when I talk about it. Again, we're not getting insecure when you talk about it, man. Maybe some guys do that are beta males. I'm going to help those guys become alpha males. We are annoyed by it because you're taking it way out of context and blowing it way out of proportion beyond what feminism was initially created to be. It's the difference between what it was meant to be, the equal rights and all that stuff, and seeking and getting special privileges. That's where the problem is at. I don't know what to do anymore. Well, that's a problem. I think you know what to do. You just don't want to do it, right? And until you and many other ladies that feel the same way you feel, ma'am, change it around, you're not gonna attract the men you want to attract. We don't have to be with you. It's our choice. We can be single forever, or we can date, other women, the few women that are decent out there, or we can, just look for casual relationships, right? Or hookups, right? Ma'am, what do you think needs to be done in order to change this? I don't know what to do anymore. Okay. Would you be open to having a conversation with me and I can give you some advice on it? Or would it offend you and make you feel I'm an anti-feminist, which I'm not? What I'm about is anti-stupidity. I'm about what makes sense. I'm about, what works for both men and women in a loving and caring way. Look at that picture there. Oops. Oh, hang on a second. All right, there we go. Number 9. It's made us more separate from each other than ever before. Yeah, it has. You understand the effects of it, ma'am. You're spot on. But you haven't mentioned what you feel you could do to change it. That's what I'm waiting for. And we know it's not going to happen. At least not yet. At least not in this blog. Men and women already have so much trouble trying to understand each other. But feminism has turned our society into a bit of a battle of the sexes. It's completely made it a battle of the sexes, ma'am. And I don't want it to be that because I actually love women and I respect women and I want to share my life with a woman. I'm 46 years old. I've been single for a couple of years. I put myself out there. I talk to so many women. They appear to be nice. And then after, 10, 20 minutes into a phone conversation, if I meet them online and I take it off the internet to a phone call, the same thing that you're doing here happens to me, which turns me off. And then it's like, okay, I'm out. Back to the drawing board, right? For every 20 women I talk to, there's maybe 1 or 2 that are not trying to project the feminist agenda onto me. And then, sometimes one of those 2 might end up working out or it won't. But the odds are stacked against men. And because of that, they're stacked against you. So what's going to fix this? Think about it. You know the answer. I'm not on their side or anything. I'm just pointing out that we're currently in a sort of us against them mentality, and it's going to take a while until it all smooths out. Ma'am, it will never smooth out unless you ladies realize what's deterring men from you. I'm trying to share with you as professionally, logically, and reasonably as possible what's really happening. All right, we've got a couple more here. Let me check out the chat, and then we're going to wrap this up. Daily Dose of Giggles says, true. Thank you, Daily Dose of Giggles. You can be more specific. Feel free to share your thoughts. Muttnuts World says, on dating a guy who has more feminist characteristics, you're like, hell no, right? You want to date a man. Like, your man's a masculine man, but he's a good guy to you too, right? Right, Mutt? Okay. No more check questions in there. Let's get back to this. Number 10. Every first date I go on, there's an elephant in the room. Okay. Every first date I go on, there's an elephant in the room. Wow. Let's see what she means by that. A second, scroll down. It is weird because we're doing the whole man-seeking woman act. We got on dates. But we both know that this old way of seeing each other is on its way out. It's already been outed, ma'am. The funny thing is I like it the way it used to be, which is why it's harder for me to find women. There are still a few women that are more traditional with the modern twist, and they can balance it out. Those are the types of women that I will date and get in a relationship with. It's very rare. It's typically 1 or 2 out of 20. Okay? It's less than what? 10%? Okay? If we're looking at, 10 out of 100, it's about 10%. I'd say about 10% of the women out there, from what I've encountered, based on the amount of women I've talked to, that are a modern woman. They're working and they're happy they have equal rights, but they're not feminists or radical feminists. They're just happy to have equal rights. And after they do their work and get their job done, when they come home to us, they're feminine and girly, and we're masculine, and we get along and we respect and love each other and have a good life, right? But yeah, I get what you're saying there. I'm not saying dating is dead. It's not, but it's definitely changed. And it's extremely challenging more than ever. Yes, it's always been interesting because men and women are biologically different even before this happened. But this has just made it even more difficult, extremely difficult. But I think we need to find a new way to be in relationships without falling into any sort of forced gender roles. Gender roles are out the door, but this is what I think. I think both men and women should do laundry. Both men and women should cook and clean. Both men and women should do tasks equally that were once only tasks that a housewife would do while the husband was at work making the money and being the provider in that way. So I agree with you there on that. Pretty much almost completely. Maybe completely on that, because that's not a problem. I just don't think we know how to do it yet. Most people don't. I do. That's why my last relationship worked. Yes, we ended up splitting up, and, I'm not going to get into that. I've done it in the past. Not a big deal. But my ex and I, we shared everything, and we got along. And she was very feminine to me. But if I pissed her off, she would tell me, right? But then she would allow me to talk with her and help her work through what she was feeling based on what I said and apologize. And then we would kiss and make up, and it was beautiful. So you're right. Just because I understand it doesn't mean most people do. That's why I do what I do. I want to help people understand this in the ways that you're trying to understand it, and say that, I just don't think we know how to do it yet. I want to teach people and make a difference. All right. Let me see here. Give me a second. Number 11, the final one here. If you have any questions, folks, get them in the chat right now. I'm going to be going off the air very soon. Number 11, I swear guys are approaching me less. So one more time. I swear guys are approaching me less. I'm not surprised, ma'am. Not surprised one bit. Let's read what she says. Is it just me, or are guys doing a lot more looking around than actually approaching? No, you're right. We're actually approaching a lot of women at once. And it's not that we want to date multiple women at once. Maybe some guys do. That's not me. But literally, until I get into a relationship with a woman, I talk with a lot of women through dating apps in person. And, I've got 5 or 6 women that I'm getting to know, because I know more than likely at least 5 out of those 6 are going to drop off after 10 minutes in the phone conversation. But maybe, that 6th one might be the one that, is sweet, and, we gel and we decide to meet, and then it may go somewhere. But once it goes somewhere, I don't talk to multiple women. I don't sleep around or anything like that. And I'm going to do another stream on this that I did, I believe, on my former channel that's no longer around years ago. The law of large numbers. I was talking with my friend Troy, who's also my sponsor with the Discover Community Network yesterday. We talked for like 6 hours. And, he was saying, man, remember when you were talking about the law of large numbers? That's so true. That's so true, and it's more important in the modern world with dating or being an entrepreneur or whatever you're trying to accomplish. Okay, the law of large numbers states that the more and more how do I put it the right way? The more you throw into the fire, the better chance you have of accomplishing whatever you want to accomplish. So, for example, I don't know if that was the right way to put it, but for example, if you're the kind of guy that goes onto Match.com and you send one email every month to one woman that you feel is the woman of your dreams, she may or may not even get back to you. She may not even be an active member. But, even if she does get back to you, she may not even click with you, right? So you got to talk to a lot of women. You got to message 50 women a day if you have to, right? Or 100 women a day. But, take your time. It's going to take some effort. It's going to require more effort nowadays. And what happens? You message 50, 100 women, you might get 5 or 10 messages back. Out of those 5 or 10, 2 or 3 may go to a phone call. And out of those 2 or 3, you might end up getting one date. That's called the law of large numbers. That's what it takes. That's what you are up against these days, guys and gals. If you want it, especially nowadays, you got to make even more effort, and you got to, throw more into the fire at once. It's just the way it is. Times are a little weird right now, and I guess guys are afraid that the way they approach women might offend us or give us the wrong impression. That's part of it. But we know that you women have this stigma, and you're more than likely going to reject us, even if you think we're cute or if we're charming. Like, you've been pre-programmed to automatically reject us, right? Now, if you want us to approach you more, how about making yourself approachable? How about looking at us from across the room and smiling at us and giving us a sign that you welcome us to come over and say hi to you, right? Like you used to do. But a lot of women are sitting there, in the corner with, their hands all folded up and crossed and with a stern face. Like, women don't even smile anymore. Now, some do. If a woman smiles, I'm all over that. If a woman frowns, see you later, I'm out. You're basically showing me whether you're happy or not, whether you smile or you frown. Common sense, right? I guess this is a good thing in a way, because now guys have to rack their brain and kind of figure out how to treat a woman, how to treat women with respect, and see us as whole people. Man, we've never changed that. Now, there are some jerk type of guys that have always been around. Man, you're way off the deep end on this one. I guess this is a good thing in a way, because now guys have to rack their brain and kind of figure out how to treat women with respect and see us as whole people. Man, I treat women with a lot of respect. I'm an open, honest guy, and let me tell you, the majority of women I've encountered will question me on that and say, you sound too good to be true. They'll make up all these excuses. Or they're talking to multiple guys at once and they're inconsistent. And they're basically blaming me for the things they're doing, which is very hypocritical, ma'am. But you're not taking any of that into consideration. You're just ranting and raving right now because guys don't approach you much anymore. And, it sounds like to me, you want to find a good guy to settle down with and maybe have a family with and grow old with, right? Maybe you feel you deserve that. Maybe you feel entitled to that, ma'am. There's no entitlement to it. The truth of the matter is this, is that until you realize that exuding more masculine energy than feminine energy is going to affect you from getting what you want from a man, it's never going to change. It's the bottom line. Continue being the way you are. I'm not telling you what to do, but the more you continue behaving the way you're behaving, you're going to repel men. Think about it. If you want to attract men, aren't you going to do things that actually attract men? Or do you just want men to say, you need to accept me for the way I am right now, the modern woman, right? We don't have to accept you if we don't want to. We're not going to be rude to you, and if we see you, if you work with us or if we see you walking down the street, we'll say hi. We're going to be cordial, but we're not going to get into a relationship with you or ask you on a date or take you out. And you know why. You just have to figure it out within yourself, come to terms with it, and make the adjustments that it's going to take to turn that around. That's all I'm saying. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you why men are being repelled. It's the truth. I'm a man. I know it repels me, and that definitely repels me. Let's see. That's a good thing, but it'll be a while until we see that as a dating trend. Oh, who knows if it'll ever go back to the way it used to be. I doubt it. But maybe at some point we will figure out how to make this work better than it's working in this modern world of feminism and women being empowered and all that. Maybe over the next generation or two, it'll all get sorted out. I won't be around, but I'm going to hope for the best for the people that are around during that time. All right, let's go back to full screen here. And how do you like the background, folks? I thought this was a beautiful background. A young man and a young woman sitting there. I believe it's by like a lake or a river on a bench. He's got his arm around her, and they seem pretty happy. I mean, I think they're a little, far apart. If you see, like right there, like if that was my woman, I would be right next to her. Her butt would be touching my butt. My arm would be all around her. And I'd be making her feel amazing, and I'd feel amazing having my arm around her. But it's still a beautiful picture. You know what I mean? Still a beautiful picture. Any final questions, folks? Get them in the chat right now. Let me just check out and see what's going on. Daily dose of giggles. What could that elephant mean? I don't know what it meant. I think you were talking about there was an elephant in the blog, the picture of an elephant. I'm not quite sure. Maybe it's depicting, a man or something. I don't know. Queen Helen Casey, I do everything for myself. Well, I know you've been through a lot, Queen, and I know you were married in the past. I know you have kids, and you've been through all that, and you've chosen to, at least for this point, withdraw. I don't think that's what you really want, but you understand how this world is, and right now you're in a position where you don't want to date. It may change, it may not change, but at least you understand what's going on, and you do take care of yourself. That's respectful, and you don't project anything on other people. That's what I respect about you. Daily dose of giggles. Old school gentlemen are hard to come by nowadays. Times are changing. You need teamwork in a relationship. You've always needed teamwork in a relationship. It's just nowadays the most difficult thing, in my opinion, to deal with is because both men and women are working, you have to balance your work and personal life. And another thing, if a woman works a job, that requires her to exude more masculine energy than feminine energy while at work, okay? If she comes home with that masculine energy towards her man, it's going to repel him. She's going to need to turn it off like a switch, okay? It doesn't mean she has to be, 100% submissive all the time, but if she's not more submissive than dominant in the relationship, it's just not going to work. It doesn't work. It naturally doesn't work. That's not how men and women were made to be. That's just my opinion, and I feel it's a biological fact. So anyway, let me just check one more thing here real quick. Let me see. All right. So folks, we're going to get on out of here. You're right. It is a fine balance. Yes, Daily Dose of Giggles. Yes, I appreciate that. Yep. And it's not that I'm trying to be right. It's just, it is what it is. That's just the way it is. I have a lot of experience dealing with these things, and I've done a lot of personal development and self-help on myself to understand this subject as best as anyone can understand it. So that's that. All right, folks, I'm going to get on out of here and enjoy the rest of my Sunday night. I want to thank you all for being here. Thank you to Daily Dose of Giggles for being here. Thank you to Queen Helen Casey for being here. Thank you to Mutt Nuts World for being here. Thank you to MGTOW's The Only Way to Live, Darren, for being here. And who else did I miss? Oh, Kelvin Clymer, that's right. I'm glad I scrolled back. And also Proud Boy Patriot Gaming and more. And if I missed anyone else, my apologies. And for anyone behind the scenes that was lurking around enjoying the show, thank you so much for being here. Folks, feel free to email me anytime, Coach Eli at coach@eliasmelas.com. Send me your topic requests, for videos. Send me your stories, and don't write short emails. The longer the email, the greater chance there will be for me to actually do a show on it. I'll do those topic requests free of charge between now and September 30th, 2020. All right, with that being said, have yourselves a great, great night, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye. We're out. Peace out. We're out. Peace out. Have a great night.